welcome to the podcast for When the Curves Line Up for October 30th, 2023. Please see the article that includes diagrams of today's events on the website at whenthecurveslineup.com. Text by Jeffrey L. Hunt. In Chicago, sunrise occurs at 7:20 a.m. Central Daylight Time, followed by sunset at 5:48 p.m. Beginning tomorrow, darkness is longer than daylight. This is not to be confused with the equinox that equally divides daylight and nighttime. Daylight occurs when the sun is in the sky. Its length varies during the year. Its length is simply calculated by subtracting the sunrise time from the sunset time. By adding 12 hours to the sunset time makes the calculation easy. In some circumstances, it is necessary to borrow an hour, convert it to 60 minutes, and add it to the sunset's minutes column to complete the calculation. Today's length is 10 hours, 28 minutes. Nighttime is when the sun is not in the sky, about 12 hours at the equinox. Today, the length is 13 hours, 32 minutes. Subtract daylight's length from 24 hours, borrowing an hour or 60 minutes to calculate the minutes value. Nighttime is longer than daylight. For the statement, darkness is longer than daylight, needs further explanation. Nighttime has three phases: evening twilight when the western sky is illuminated after sunset, darkness, and morning twilight before the sun rises. These articles rely on the U.S. Naval Observatory's Mica computer program for the values related to this description. It provides times for the beginning of morning twilight, sunrise, sunset, and end of evening twilight. By calculating the length of twilight during a day and then subtracting this value for night's length, darkness is determined. Darkness is when the sky is as dark as it gets naturally. The metaphors, such as dark as midnight and darkest before the dawn, do not refer to nature. At the end of evening twilight or beginning of morning twilight, the sky is as dark as midnight. So, beginning tomorrow, darkness is longer than daylight until February 10th, 2024, for 102 days at Chicago's latitude. Locations farther south have fewer days and those farther northward experience more days for this effect. Here is today's planet forecast. In the morning sky. During morning twilight, the bright gibbous moon, 97% illuminated, is over 30 degrees up in the western sky. Through a binocular, the Pleiades star cluster, 3.5 degrees above the lunar orb, and the moon appear in the same binocular field. While easier to see than the dimmer planets, the moonlight can wash out dimmer stars. Once you find the scene, then move the binocular upward slightly so the moon leaves the field and the star cluster is below the center of the view. The moon passes 1.6 degrees south of the star cluster at 10:30 a.m. CDT, long after it sets across North America. Bright Jupiter is about halfway from the western horizon to the gibbous moon. It is retrograding in front of Aries, 11.8 degrees to the lower left of Hamal and 11.7 degrees to the right of Menkar. It appears to be passing between the two stars. Use a binocular to find Menkar. Earth is between Jupiter and the Sun in 4 mornings. Because the Jovian giant and the central star appear in opposite directions in the sky, Jupiter is said to be at opposition. Jupiter rises at sunset and sets at sunrise. The planet is closest to Earth on these occasions that occur about every 400 days. Farther eastward, brilliant Venus, rising at its maximum time interval before sunrise, is over 30 degrees above the east-southeast horizon. It steps eastward in front of Leo, over 20 degrees to the lower left of Regulus, Leo's brightest star, and 11.9 degrees to the lower right of Dine Bola, the tail. Venus passes Dine Bola in a wide conjunction in a few mornings. In the evening sky, Mercury and Mars set several minutes after sunset and they are not visible. An hour after sundown, Saturn is over 30 degrees above the south-southeast horizon. It retrogrades in front of Aquarius, 6.7 degrees to the left of Deneb Algedi, Aquarius tail. Both fit into the same field of a binocular. The planet's retrograde ends November 4th. Farther eastward at this hour, bright Jupiter is less than 10 degrees up in the east-northeast. 2 hours after sunset, the planet is nearly 20 degrees up in the east and over 25 degrees to the upper right of the gibbous moon, 94% illuminated. Thank you for listening. Please read the articles at whenthecurveslineup.com.